I'm Tyler Reddick, and this is The American Athlete. I feel like I was playing t-ball about the time I started racing, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was really bad at t-ball, so I'm glad I picked up racing. I was a little bit better at that. Hi, I'm Tyler Reddick for Richard Childress Racing, and we're here in LA getting ready for the race at Fontana here on Saturday. Making the transition from dirt racing into asphalt was understanding the longevity of the races. The first thing that came with that is just the amount of heat, so it's mainly, I would say, a physical strain, which becomes a mental strain as soon as you're thinking about it. Beyond that, I wasn't used to making adjustments on the race car throughout the race or having to communicate while racing to my team. Where in dirt racing, you just set your car up for the feature or heat race qualifying, whatever it may be. You go out there and run it, and once it's done, you come back in, you think about it, and make an adjustment. Where on the racetrack, when the caution comes out, you have maybe a minute to figure out what you want to do to the race car and what you think's wrong with it, instead of being able to sit for about 10-15 minutes and really think about what you want to do.
Starting your racing career early is ideal for any driver, but nothing can prepare you for when things go sideways out on the track.
It's one of those things that I always know about, and you see people get hurt, get some injuries, or even injured to the point where they can't return to racing. Along the way, people have gotten killed. But it's just one of those things that's never really concerned me. I mean, it's something I enjoy a lot. I have a lot of fun doing. No matter what you do in life, you're gonna have risk along the way. I had risk driving over here today just to do this interview, so it doesn't matter what you're doing, you have a chance of something could go wrong completely in your control or out of your control. I actually feel more comfortable and more safe on the racetrack than I probably do out here on the interstate. Even I forget how heavy the race cars are. I mean, 3,300 pounds doesn't sound like a lot. When you think it's a car that's got 750 horsepower going up to 200 miles an hour around some of these racetracks, it's a lot of weight that you're slinging around the corner, and it's on radial tires that just, they work well, but they have a lot of sidewall, and they're hard to drive. But that's what's fun about it, is I feel like whenever the cars are a challenge to drive, that's when I have the most fun. But at the same time, at some of these racetracks you go to, when your car is handling its worst, it's draining the most energy out of you. The thought processes can sometimes be, well, if the car's fast, it's hard to drive. It doesn't always apply. Sometimes the guy's running in 15th, 20th, just fighting their car, more times than not, are probably working harder than the guy running in first, just purely having to drive it because the car doesn't want to do the things you want it to. At this point, this early in the year, it's fun to still go into the shop and do this or do that, especially when things are going well. But when things start to, the pressure starts to build towards the playoffs, or things aren't going right, you can let the stress build pretty easily. And I feel like last year, I allowed myself to kind of unplug just by working on, the very thing that got me into racing, and that's actually cars. And at times when I'm stressed out and I get home, it's almost bad to a degree, but I can pretty much disconnect from everything else going on, just get lost in my garage and think 30 minutes ends up being 2.5 hours. It was definitely a roller coaster. We started the year about as happy and high as we could be. Winning the championship, we're already locked in. My first race for the team, we won it. The day itself, though, was a lot like what our year actually was like. We started off the race, and it seemed like right out of the gate, we have good speed, our car's great, we qualify good. We get caught up in wrecks throughout the race. We're losing battery power throughout the race. The motor is not running correctly. We have an exhaust leak, and it won't accelerate under its own power. There was a lot of things, and 50 laps to go, I'm just hoping the motor doesn't blow up, because I just don't know what's going on. It's my first time with that team, and I just don't understand the cars that well, and everything was just going wrong. But we were able to get through all the really, really hard parts of that race, avoided the really big wreck at the end of the race. We've put ourselves in a spot where it was us and a couple other guys, and I got a good push from my teammate. He got my car going, and once it got up to a certain speed, it could run okay. I just wouldn't accelerate very well on restarts, which may have actually helped me not get pushed out too far and out of the draft. You know that it can happen, but it's like, man, it's not looking good. Things aren't going right. Just complete disasters. But deep down, you can still make it happen, and we just didn't let that glimmering little hope fade away completely at the end of the year, because it almost did a couple times. I told our guys all year long, just get us to Homestead. I think we'll be okay, because that's a track I really like. I just knew what I was going to do once I got to that racetrack and what I had to do to win the championship. Once we got there, it was actually felt really, really good, and pretty much just went out and took care of business.
After winning a championship in the Xfinity Series, the Cup Series couldn't be far away. Tyler found that out quickly when he was called up to race in his very first Daytona 500.
It was a lot, but it was honestly a lot of fun because I was still feeling really just excited to get back to racing. And it was really cool that first time walking in the garage for the Daytona 500 weekend and seeing your name on one of the cars that's sitting in the garage. That's something I think I took a little bit for granted in the entire span of that event. But looking back, it's like, I was in the Daytona 500. I can at least say that. Fortunately for us, we got caught up in that one wrong spot that about 20 other drivers did too. But I had a lot of fun, got to race against guys that I'd watched on Sundays for a very long time. So it's kind of cool to go door to door and race hard with them.